That time now. It is, let's check, 11:35 on this Thursday morning, August 21st, 2014 on a Thursday afternoon. Time now for the Waterman Fisher PJ Wiggins, the afternoon report. Thursday afternoon, August 21st, 2014. We're here at the Attleboro Transportation Center where in about a couple of minutes from now, I'm going to take the Gatra 12 bus to Emerald Square Mall to browse around the store to have something to eat. Okay, let's take a look at a forecast. There'll be a mix. Let's take a look at the forecast that I wrote from the globe. Clouds and sun, high about 71, low about 76 degrees for today and for tonight. Mixture of clear skies and cloudy skies with a low about 60 to 65 degrees. For Friday, it'll be cloudy, could have a possible shower, high about 69, low about 74 degrees, and the low tonight, 59 to 64 degrees here. And a high tide, 9:22 p.m. and sunset, 7:36 p.m. Right now, our Attleboro temperature is 81 degrees here. And let's take a look at the little news headlines here. In Washington, President Obama on Wednesday, they called the beheading of New Hampshire war correspondent James W. Foley an act of violence that shocks and conscience in the entire world. And he pledged renewed determination to defend the terrorist group called itself the Islamic State. Obama's brief remarks about Martha's Vineyard came as military officials revealed that American air and ground forces attempted to rescue Foley and other Americans early this summer in Syria, but the hostages were not found where rescuers expected to be. Sounding somber and times and angry, Obama last shot at Foley's killing and said, "No just God would stand for what they did yesterday or what they do every single day." They may claim at expense that they are at war with the United States to the west, but the fact is that they terrorize their neighbors and offer for them nothing but endless slavery and empty vision. Obama said the United States would keep up the pressure on the group which has seized large parts. And on his first day in Stephen Gannett's journalism class at Northwestern University in 2007, James Foley had listened while Gannett explained that the profession could be at times be very dangerous. You can get hurt doing this job. You can get killed doing this job, and you better learn to think on your feet, Gannett told his students. Jim came up with me afterward and said, "I think I'm going to go to like this class." Gannett recalled Wednesday. He was a very courageous guy and he didn't scare easily. Bravery was a trait friends that I'd always noticed about Mr. Foley, who was abducted in November 2012 in northern Syria while reporting for international news service Global Posting. Our agency had just said this gene that didn't know fear, said Jeremy Osgood, a friend of Mr. Foley since their childhood we were in New Hampshire here. Islamic State militants released a video Tuesday showing that Mr. Foley had been headed in protest to U.S. airstrikes. President Obama condemned that act as a bloody murder. Meanwhile, in Mr. Foley's hometown of Rochester, New Hampshire here, the parents of James Foley stood solemnly under a green lawn Wednesday, protected and quiet grace as they told their story of their son as storyteller himself. Despite being haunted by their son's execution by Islamic State militants, Foley's parents approached the tragedy with a compassion reminiscent of their son. Instead of anger, there was hope. Instead of regret, there was belief that it important that it is work. Rochester residents of Foley family among them were struggling to comprehend with the death of Foley, a war correspondent who spent his life immersed in danger. Driven to illuminate the human faces of global conflict, he felt compelled to witness to people in conflict. This he felt was his mission, his mother dying, and his voice was strained as he spoke outside. Women and folks are always sought after. Electoral prize have surged in the strong roles in recent weeks as the terrorist campaigns for statewide candidates have jumped onto the airwaves with a heavily female cast of supporters here, extolling the merits of their preferred candidates. The stream of campaign ads that began early this month contemplate similar emphasis in the off-air campaign messages as the male candidates and their backers look to bluntly build an edge to their female opponents and enjoy women, while the female candidates look to capitalize on that advantage. I don't think women are more important this time around, but I do think there's more of a focus of them this time around, said Meredith Warren, a Republican consultant, and I think that it's because candidates see them as more up for grabs than other Democrats. Women in Massachusetts make up more than half the electorate, 54% of the vote, and offer a crucial crop of undecided voters, ensuring that they are heavily courted in the every election. Even by that measure, political observers call the heightened focus this year unusual. Voters can see the Democrats today on their TV screens. Here, in Ferguson, Missouri, Deandra Connor sat at the McDonald's on West Pleasant Avenue, looking out the window outside. Her peers stood with protest signs and occasionally shouted with this become the battle cry of this movement. Hands up, don't shoot. Connor's 18 has been at here every day since her former classmate Michael Brown was shot to death by a Ferguson police officer 10 days ago. Here in this moment, she feels some part of that something that she hopes will usher in an era where her dreams will not be deferred. Brown's death has not only jolted many young people into consciousness and action into daily protest, but has also created a collective trauma of sorts. It has deepened that stress of being young black teens living in areas of concentrated poverty and crime, and prompted at least some teens to think beyond that themselves. Connor's dreams of going to nursing school extended to culinary arts. Last season on Shameless, the Showtime series about a poor family struggling to survive in Chicago's South Side, a toddler accidentally ingested cocaine and nearly died as alcohol cover wasted away from his liver decay, and promising young woman wound up in prison. Are you laughing yet? It's worth asking because Shameless, along with Netflix Orange is the New Black, is competing in the comedy categories at Monday Night's Emmy Awards. Since the drama category is weighted with big deals such as Breaking Bad and Mad Men, Showtime and Netflix chose to submit these other shows and comedies to improve their chances that they shop around the easiest category, if not the most appropriate. In the questionable method work big time, the Shameless submitted by Showtime is not drama, but not nominated for the first three seasons and finally won a major nod this year for William H. Macy as lead comedy actor on Orange is the New Black. Prison drama with black humor wrapped up in an impressive 12 comedy nominations. Here, these examples are only a part of the growing Emmy category fall that's faced in the television administration. Here, take a look at our news briefs. Here, the City Council Trust approved the Boston Trust Act forbidding police from holding immigrants of a possible deportation unless a criminal warrant has been issued. The company Haystack said it would suspend its mobile parking app in Boston after the City Council voted to prohibit the sale of lease or reserve in the public ways. Former Red Sox ace Curt Schilling revealed that he was treated for mouth cancer, and he said he connects the disease to his use of chewing tobacco during his playing days. As a pitcher for the Red Sox, the birth rate of U.S. teenagers declined 57% since 1991, with the drop attributed both to decreased sexual activity and more use of contraception. Ukrainian troops claim control of much of the separatist stronghold of Luhansk and close-tighted rebel-held Donetsk. The Navy is asking 34 sailors and investigating 10 others in connection with a cheating ring at a nuclear-powered training site. Pakistan's powerful army chief has called for a civilian government to negotiate. With protesters who demand the removal of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. A friend of marathon bomber suspect Horace Sarnav is expected to plead guilty of obstruction of justice for removing evidence from a dorm room. And researchers offered the surprising hypothesis that tuberculosis originated in Africa and was carried across the line by seas. In a point of view by Leader Scanlon, instead, my daughter and I saw 6 schools this summer, and sadly our feelings about them are very closely linked to the opinions of the tour guide. It's embarrassing to admit that, but let's be honest, assessment by Associated Hollywood Boy. And that's me for the What I've been just your P-Channel News, the afternoon report, and it's August the 21st, 2014 on Thursday. PJ will see you about a good day. I'll be back this evening at my studio for the Peter Channel News and Weather and just an evening report at either 5 or 5:30. Have a good evening.